YouTube, top of the morning, man. What's the big old deal, man? It's y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nina Boy, and we back at it with another one. Hey, man, you know what? Hey, catch this game, though, right? You know what I noticed about a lot of niggas on this blacktop, what they really good at? They good at cherry picking. Yeah, I'm talking about, man. If they see somebody else shining and it's not them, yeah, they talking bad about you, man. Everybody got them in their neighborhood. Everybody got them on that blacktop. Man, it's a problem. And what they good for is they finding a reason to politic on you and get you jumped, to get you DP because you shining and you ain't coming around, you ain't hanging around people like that. It's a lot of dark spirits out there, homie. You think everybody your homie until y'all go through something. But catch this game though, right? You gotta stop treating every nigga like they family. Some of y'all be treating the wrong people like they family, and picking the wrong friends can destroy your life, gang. You see what I'm saying? We finna get into it, man. Big U might be cooked, man. Y'all know I've been going down that marathon rabbit hole, right? And I'm looking at all the footage and all that shit, right? But it's looking bad for him, homie. But I want to tell y'all something, because a lot of times, you know, a lot of y'all think shit is forever. Ever get attached to anybody, because everybody got an expiration date, homie. A lot of y'all thinking, oh man, we bros for life. That's my nigga. It got an expiration date on y'all friendship, homie. That relationship that you got, it got an expiration on it. Stop pretending like everything lasts forever, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out here, man. They run around here just not guarded. Keep yourself guarded, man. There's a lot of y'all out here that forgot. You know, you go die on that mountain by yourself, on that hill by yourself. You see what I'm saying? You better pick yourself before anybody else. You see what I'm saying? You can't even keep it real with everybody unless you keep it real with yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to this content. You know what I'm saying? I got my good old tea this morning, man. I'm changing it up from that coffee from a little bit. But anyway, let's get it. Let's go.
Well, they told me between me and you, please, between me and you, don't tell nobody, because they don't want nobody to know. They're going to be making an arrest the ending of March, the beginning of April.
Got you. I'm going to sit back and watch the show.
Did y'all hear what they said? The prosecution is the same one prosecuted Nipsey Hussle murder, because they want some get back. Did y'all catch that?
Yes, I did.
Hell yeah.
What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. On this video, we got an exclusive. Whack 100 is reacting to the breaking news that Big U, Brick Baby, and Loose Cannon all got arrested in a Rolling 60s Crip takedown. Yes, this is a...
All right, wait. So that's the audio of Rayshawn Williams' mama, right?
Please, between me and you, don't tell.
Okay, cool. So let me get up out of there. All right, that's the wrong one. That's on me, y'all. Hold on. Count on three, all on me. All right. Here we go. Let me find it. Hey, let me just say this too, man. It seemed like to me with these YNs, man, being broke is the new cool. Being broke is the new cool, man, because I looked at you know, cats that's coming up out of high school, man, they going straight into gangbanging. We have a small percentage of African-American young men who are actually going to college, going to the army. They going straight to these blocks, bro, and they hanging and they banging over a 50-some-year-old beef that they inherited, right? And they don't even know what they want to do with their life, but they know they want to gangbang, homie. And that's sad. That's why I do what I do. That's why I tell y'all to hit that like button, because some YN might be waking up in the morning checking out my content, and a nigga might just want to go get some money on. Let's go. All right, where am I going to go? Is this the one? Yeah, here you go. Let's go.
If you've ever heard the phrase check in, you probably pictured a street rule, not a federal case file. But in this indictment, prosecutors describe an alleged system where certain people, artists, athletes, hustlers, anyone with money, were expected to make a call before moving around Los Angeles. And that call allegedly came with a price. And that's the first twist. The government isn't painting this as one bad incident or one messy argument. They're describing an enterprise, a crew with roles, rules, and a business model. Not just muscle, but image. Not just fear, but influence. Podcasts, interviews, community programs, stuff that looks clean on camera, mixed with allegations that get very ugly behind the scenes. At the center is Eugene Henley Jr., better known as Big U, described as a rolling 60s OG and the alleged leader of what prosecutors call the Big U Enterprise. They also named Sylvester Robinson, Vay, as an alleged underboss and enforcer, and Mark Martin, Bearclaw, as a trusted lieutenant tied to a custom car shop and the label side of the operation. Now here's what makes people lean in. Prosecutors claim this whole case has two faces. The public face is community, protection, mentorship, keeping the peace. The other face, according to the indictment, is extortion, robberies, fraud, and intimidation, all held together by a reputation that made people think twice before saying no. And before we even get to the money, the indictment anchors the story around a Vegas trip that prosecutors say changed everything. A music studio, a rising artist, a confrontation that started as business and allegedly ended as a fatal night. So the real question isn't just what happened. The question is, why would anyone risk building a whole public brand if the private side could bring federal heat? Because once you see the Vegas timeline, the rest of this case reads like dominoes. Picture this. You're an artist trying to get your moment. You fly to Las Vegas for a studio session connected to a Grammy-winning producer. Your travel and Airbnb are arranged through your label, Unique Music. Everything looks like a regular work trip until it doesn't. According to the indictment, in January 2021, Big U allegedly used influence and reputation to arrange for a unique music artist, identified as RW, to record at that Las Vegas studio. An employee handled the flight and the Airbnb, so the artist could work for a week, normal on paper. Then prosecutors say the energy shifted. Big U and Vay allegedly drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas because they felt the artist wasn't producing, wasting studio time, and showing disrespect to unique music, and by extension, disrespect to the enterprise. The indictment claims Big U showed up at the Airbnb around 2 a.m., asking why the artist hadn't been at the studio the day before. A few hours later, the artist records at the studio. So if you're watching at home, you're thinking, okay, tension, pressure, maybe a heated argument. But the indictment frames it as something darker, because what happens next is about control. Prosecutors say that just after midnight, Big U's phone stopped reporting location, like they were turned off or put into airplane mode, while in the vicinity of the studio. Then, the artist is driven back to the Airbnb. Not long after, around 1:20 a.m., the artist allegedly leaves the Airbnb early, suitcase packed, and gets into the same car. That detail is sneaky important. Early checkout, luggage, 1 day before a scheduled flight home. It reads like someone leaving in a hurry, but not necessarily by choice. And then, the car heads north of Las Vegas, toward an area near the Apex Regional Landfill, before eventually turning back. That's where prosecutors want you to pause, because from this point on, the story stops sounding like music business and starts sounding like a disappearance. Here's the part that makes the indictment feel like a thriller. Prosecutors don't just describe an outcome, they describe a route. They say Big U drove north with RW toward the Apex Regional Landfill area. Then, a short time later, they say he drove back south toward Las Vegas. Around 2:15 a.m., prosecutors claim both of Big U's phones started reporting location again, suggesting they were turned back on or taken out of airplane mode. Minutes later, they say Big U called Vay, who was still at the studio. Then Big U returns to the studio and allegedly tells an employee he had gone to the gym. But prosecutors place a brutal contrast right beside that gym explanation. They say RW was found outside Las Vegas with multiple guns.
All right, so allegedly, I don't want to say facts, but allegedly they got a security guard that's going to testify on Big U that places him in the same area with Rayshawn Williams, man. So it's looking tricky. And I'm just saying alleged right now. It's looking really, really tricky right now, gang, right? I know a lot of times in the beginning, a lot of people like, oh, yeah, he finna beat that. But, man, I don't know. It's looking ugly, bro. It's looking ugly. There's some people that's going to step forward and place him there. Now, I'm not saying he did it, but you know how that shit is.
Shot injuries. Imagine the confusion. An artist on a work trip, a flight home scheduled, and suddenly the whole story ends in silence. Even if you strip away every dramatic word, that sequencing hits hard. A suitcase, a late night drive, phones go dark, phones come back, a call back to the studio, a casual explanation, and then the discovery. And that's why this Vegas incident becomes the backbone of the whole indictment. Because prosecutors aren't treating it like a random tragedy. They treat it as an alleged racketeering act connected to a bigger system. They even include a special sentencing allegation that, under Nevada law, the fatal act was intentional and premeditated. Language that raises the stakes far beyond a situation got out of hand. Now here's the retention switch. The indictment claims.
All right, hold up. Hey, top of the morning, chat. I have no problem telling y'all every time, man. Look, we got 214 people in here. Only 46 people hit the like button. Let's go ahead and hit that like button, man. Top of the morning. Come on, man. Use them fingers. Come on, support the channel, and let's get this content out there. It might be a YN that might want to hear these words, this game that I'm putting down on my content, man. So I'm going to ask y'all, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's go.
The story didn't end with that night. It claims the next chapter was about damage control, who talked, what was removed, and how people were allegedly told to move. Because in the government's telling, Las Vegas wasn't only a scene, it was a liability, and liabilities get managed. If you've ever wondered how federal cases get built, this part of the indictment shows the blueprint. Prosecutors lean hard on alleged post-incident behavior, calls, texts, and instructions that sound like people trying to keep a story from spreading. They claim Big U contacted the studio's owner, the producer, and warned him that detectives would be interviewing him about RW. Then the next day, prosecutors say Big U demanded the producer and employees leave the studio. Then comes one of the loudest allegations. Prosecutors say an associate and others removed portions of the studio security system, including video and data from the time period when the key people were at the studio. After that, they cite moves that look like people checking for cameras and controlling who speaks. They allege the Airbnb owner was asked about cameras, and they allege someone connected to the booking was told not to speak with law enforcement. And the indictment claims the worry didn't fade with time. It points to later intercepted calls where Big U allegedly warned people to be careful discussing the case and to use encrypted apps for certain conversations. Now, let's be clear. An indictment is allegations, not a verdict. But from a storytelling perspective, this is where the audience realizes the case isn't built on gossip alone. It's built on what prosecutors say they captured: conversations, location data, and alleged coordination. And while the Vegas storyline is the emotional anchor, the indictment pivots to what the government says was the enterprise's real engine: money through fear.
All right, chat. We got 75 likes. It's 241 people in here, man. Let's go ahead and hit that like button.
Because prosecutors claim that while the public saw community leadership, behind closed doors, there was an alleged tax on people. Pay up or get taught a lesson. And the lesson they describe starts at a dispensary with a victim who stopped answering calls. This is the chapter that makes people sit up, because it's not about a courtroom theory. It's about an alleged method. Prosecutors describe a victim one, a music and club promoter who partnered with an unlicensed marijuana dispensary in Los Angeles. They claim Big U extorted victim one for years, up to $25,000 a month.
Wow. So this is where it gets tricky, right? This is where it get cold, right? Y'all go ahead and hit that like button, man. It's 250 people in here, man. We only got 77 likes. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Out of 246. Yeah, man. But anyway, so that person that they're talking about his name is Dale Morrison. Dale Morrison is a music promoter. He gets celebrities come and perform at, you know what I'm saying, a lot of LA clubs, right? the person who introduced Big U to Dale Morrison, Whack 100, y'all. What y'all know about that? The perfect setup, though, right? Perfect play. Dale Morrison and Whack 100 had a relationship because of the music industry, right? Somebody had to turn that nigga on to him. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that nigga soft, nigga. Yeah, nigga, I know what you doing. You man, go get this nigga. Yeah, get that soft ass nigga, man. Yeah, whoa. Now, currently, he is facing another case of an out-of-state charge, right? I don't know what type of deals or agreements they made with him, but they won't Mr. Henley. So they go use Dale Morrison to testify against Mr. Henley. When you got people that's going to testify on you, it's all bad. You see what I'm saying? We just seen what happened to Lil Durk. You see what I'm saying? Lil Durk is cooked, bro. See what I'm saying? Once them boys get up there and sit in that chair and point that finger and hand on the Bible and testify and all that, you know what I'm saying? It's over. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is what niggas don't realize. The same way Wack lined up Loose Cannon, he was lining up Big U the whole time, but he had to do it slow. He knew Big U was too big, and if he caught on to what he was doing, that his life could potentially be in danger. You see what I'm saying? So this is how he played him. Yeah, nigga, he opened up that door because, you know, Big U weakness was probably money. He likes money. He liked to take it. You know what I'm saying? And sit in your face and befriend you. And you know what I'm saying? You paying me, but nigga, he gonna talk to you like you his best friend, y'all buddy. And Wack understood that. He acknowledged that. You can see this shit clear as day, bro. You can see it. Because when Dale Morrison came along, he didn't know Big U. He was hustling. He was a little pimp. He did music. You know what I'm saying? He called Wack to get certain artists, you know what I'm saying, number to get a booking fee to book them to go perform. You see what I'm saying? You know how Wack is. He's looked at Big U like a brother. So he shared all his resources with Big U. And he shared all his resources with Big U, and it's just a synopsis, you know what I'm saying? He got too big. He was powerful. People start realizing, Wack, you can't protect nothing. You come off with all this, nigga, you know all these people, but this the real nigga. You use Big U as your brother for the muscle to say like you connected, but he used you for all your industry plugs. And he outgrew you. He got too powerful, but you were smarter than Big U. And this is how you lined them up. And this is what I'm thinking. I'm not going to accuse the man, but this is the way it looked, man, when you look at the blueprint. Let's go.
Until victim one started ignoring the calls. Then the indictment says the message got delivered the old school way. Prosecutors claim they, Loose Cannon, and about 9 others went to the dispensary and committed a robbery. They allege products, cash, and personal items were taken from people inside, including victim one. Here's where it turns into psychological warfare. Prosecutors say shortly after, Big U invited victim one to his home, where the alleged robbers were present, and some of the stolen items were displayed like trophies. Then the indictment claims Big U told victim one a line that sounds designed to live in your head. That's how you rob yourself. After that, prosecutors say Big U returned part of what was taken and told victim one he would need to pay $10,000 to prevent future robberies. And it didn't stop there.
Wow. God digital, bro. The nigga had one of the coldest plays, bro. And not only that, they got Big U on Drink Champs saying, nigga, if you was getting money in my city, nigga, I was taking that shit. They got him verbally saying that shit on Drink. Every nigga who was getting money in the city was paying me. Then you got somebody that can, you know, testify to that. Dale Morrison. You see what I'm saying? This is crazy work, man. All right, so look, we got 320 people in the live, bro. We got 98 likes. Let me give y'all a round of applause for support, man. All right, man. I ain't gonna pull y'all hand today. Let's get to it.
They allege Big U directed victim one to identify other marijuana businesses that could be hit next, offering victim one a cut if he helped choose targets. If you're watching, that's a gut punch. Allegedly.
Wait a minute. So the nigga extorted nigga and then tell that nigga shit, nigga, I'll cut you in. You still gotta pay me, but I'll cut you in if you find another mark for me. Find me some more niggas to extort, and I'll leave your ass alone. That's a cold game, bro.
Turning a victim into a recruiter, making the victim participate in the very thing that scared him. And prosecutors claim this wasn't isolated. They cite intercepted calls about robbery proceeds and a longer series of alleged extortion attempts laid out like a calendar. But here comes the mid-video turn, because the indictment claims the same operation that allegedly used fear to take money also used helping the community to attract money. And that's where the nonprofit story enters the chat. This is the twist that makes the case feel bigger than street politics, because now prosecutors are talking about city grants and celebrity-sized donations. They describe developing options, a 501c3 nonprofit, portrayed publicly as anti-gang and youth-focused, connected to programs like youth football. The indictment says the city of Los Angeles awarded Developing Options an annual $550,000 grant through the GRID program, and that from 2018 to 2023. The nonprofit was allotted $2,352,000 in funding. Then prosecutors make their claim that Big U used Developing Options and other nonprofit branding to solicit donations.
$1 million. $1 million. That's nasty work. Hold on. One second. One second, y'all. 1 second.
In support. But that significant portions were allegedly diverted for personal use. They cite examples that sound like headline fuel. A $20,000 wire from an NBA All-Star that prosecutors say was moved to Big U's personal account almost immediately. A $24,000 donation meant for football equipment with $14,000 allegedly transferred out. A $19,000 donation tied to a content company connected to his podcast with $15,000 allegedly transferred.
Wire fraud, man. Come on, bro. All right, so let me just ask y'all, chat. Man, anything over 10,000 is flagged. Everybody know this shit. Everybody know, bro. You cannot, especially if you're moving money from a nonprofit organization account into your personal account, bro. You gotta know that that shit is going to be flagged right away. You're moving thousands and thousands of dollars, my nigga. No, where's your advisors at, bro? Nobody's telling you, nigga. Like if you came up with this grand scheme, this master plan, somebody should have told you how to slide the money. You see what I'm saying? This is just crazy, bro. Like, for sure, they got that nigga on that. It's no way. You know, paper trail don't lie. You see what I'm saying? That's black and white. I don't know, man. Come on. See, he wasn't cutting nobody in. So ain't nobody told that nigga how to really do it.
Out. A $10,000 donation intended for a meal program allegedly transferred out. A $20,000 donation from a former NBA MVP with $13,000 allegedly moved to personal use. A $100,000 donation from a production company with $36,400 allegedly transferred out. And a $50,000 donor advised fund donation meant for program costs with $32,500 allegedly transferred out. Prosecutors estimate the donor fraud at roughly $166,900 or more. This is where comments explode. Some viewers will say, that's overhead. Others will say, that's taking community money. And the indictment wants the jury to see it as the second one. But the government doesn't stop at donations. They also allege misuse and misapplication of federally funded grant money.
All right, Chad, we got 378 people. We got 120 likes, man. Let's go ahead and get another 100 likes, man. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Let's go.
Turning a community program into a money stream. And once this nonprofit angle lands, the case feels like it has no ceiling. Because then prosecutors slide in the next category, pandemic relief money. And when the word SBA enters the story, the paper trail gets loud. Here's where prosecutors widen the case from force to forms because they allege fraud not only in the streets, but on official applications. First, pandemic relief. Prosecutors say Big U submitted an EIDL application for Unique Music, claiming 2019 revenue and costs that they say were false. Then they claim the SBA issued roughly $90,000 minus a fee, plus an additional $10,000, about $100,000 total, into Unique Music's account based on that application. Then prosecutors say he submitted another EIDL application for Celebrity Socks, doing business as Unique Socks, and falsely certified the business was not engaged in illegal activity. They claim the SBA disbursed a $6,000 advance. And if viewers think that's the end of the paperwork angle, the indictment adds mortgage fraud. It describes a residential loan application seeking an $829,694 mortgage. Prosecutors claim the applicant's income was artificially inflated, with a plan that it would be reduced after the loan was obtained. They name a licensed loan officer and allege Big U and Bear Claw were involved in supporting the inflated income numbers. And then comes a curveball. Prosecutors also include a count tied to interstate transportation for commercial sex activity. They claim Big U sent Zelle money for a rental car to move women from Los Angeles to Las Vegas and receive photos by text. Later calls cited in the indictment describe him stressed that investigators spoke to the driver and questioning whether those payments could be charged. Then there's a darker control section. Prosecutors cite intercepted calls where Big U allegedly boasted about violence, threatened people during disputes, and used intimidation to keep the enterprise's reputation strong.
How do you argue that on a wiretap, gang? God, digital, man. This is cold game, bro. When they play those audios in court, you better hope to God you don't have some female judge hearing all that shit, man. They got the nigga saying all this man, come on, them threats, all that shit. Women, right now, elections is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Human trafficking. Oh, yeah, bro. Oh, man. Oh, let's get to this content. Make sure y'all hit that like button, though. Let's go.
They even include an allegation that in 2022, he arranged for someone to collect an illegal debt from a current NBA all-star player that allegedly totaled $3 million, taking a fee for collecting it. Again, allegations, not proven facts. But from a viewer's perspective, it reinforces the theme: access, money, and leverage. And now you're probably noticing the pattern. Whenever pressure builds, prosecutors say the response is either intimidation or movement. So what happened when the investigation started closing in? That's when the indictment says the phones went quiet again, and Big U's public messaging suddenly got very loud.
You don't feel like getting up, going out, or working out? Sounds like you don't feel like much of a man anymore. It's not.
This final stretch is where the indictment turns into a chase scene without a single car crash. Prosecutors allege that in the early morning hours of March 19, 2025, Big U's partner left her phone on at their home, still reporting location. But Big U's phones stopped reporting location data. Then, they allege that before leaving, Big U left a subpoena connected to the investigation out in the open, almost like a signal that he knew the walls were closing in. Then comes the public move. Prosecutors claim Big U posted to a Crenshaw Cougars Instagram account, alleging racial profiling and blaming co-defendants and opponents for the charges. They also claim he posted again naming people and attempting to pressure or dissuade cooperation, using identity language to shame anyone associating with certain individuals. That's not just drama. That's prosecutors framing it as attempted jury pool poisoning and intimidation. Later that same day, the indictment says Big U surrendered to the U.S. Marshal Service without the phones that had stopped reporting location. And then the case stacks the charges like a mountain. A RICO conspiracy at the top, with underlying allegations ranging from robbery and extortion to wire fraud, misuse of federal program funds, bank fraud, and tax-related counts. The indictment also tacks on tax-related allegations, claiming underreporting income for 2019 and failures to file for later years, along with a forfeiture section that signals the government may pursue assets it says were tied to the alleged scheme. So here's the comment section question that matters. If prosecutors are right, was this a protection brand or a business model that used fear and community optics like two sides of the same coin? And the biggest open question now is what happens next? Who flips? What evidence actually gets shown in court? And whether the government can prove this was a coordinated enterprise, not separate incidents stitched together. Drop your...
Yeah, man, this is crazy because, you know, it's no way, bro. You could have thought that you could just pull this shit off forever. Hell, you didn't even file taxes 2019 on some of your businesses. It's no way you thought you was gonna get away with all this shit, bro. Yeah, man. We don't see the problem is time, bro. We don't got the time we think we got, homie. But you know, the cool thing about life, man, God didn't put us on this earth just to be a gangbanger, bro. Nigga, it's some of you niggas out there right now, nigga, was probably meant to do some whole other shit. But since you so connected to trauma bonded with your situation, you don't understand what your life is worth. We got one more video, chat. Let's go ahead and hit. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit that like button, man. Let's get it. Shout out to the 366 people in here. Top of the morning. Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah, nigga, we on one today, baby. All right, so we got Rayshawn Williams' mom and sister finna speak out about Big U. You know, the trial is coming up. They definitely will be front and center in regards to Rayshawn Williams. I think they testimony is probably go seal the deal as well. Let's go.
I wanted to say I'm so sorry for your loss. I mean, my heart really does go out to both of you. I mean, you know, your family's going through a really tough time right now. I know there's news that broke out that said that Big U was, you know, might have been involved in your son's murder. I mean, do you believe he's responsible?
I know for a fact he's responsible. There's no doubt in my mind. Mother's instance, I know he's responsible.
Why do you think that he did it? I mean, that's like the big question.
Because you don't like the word no.
Okay.
You don't want nobody to tell you no. Everything's supposed to go your way or no way. So I feel like my baby did something that you didn't like. And you did what you did. Now karma's at your door.
Do you think Big U is a real threat to the community right now?
Now, it's the mama, bro. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to her son. Condolences to her. I think that's his sister. Condolences to her. You feel me? You know, they speaking out, bro. So we gonna get to it.
Of course.
There's a lot there. I mean,
of course he is, because if he could do this to my child, what makes you think he couldn't do it to nobody else's child? Or if he haven't done it to nobody else's child, or if he don't have anybody child right now feeling threatened because of what he have said to them or what he have done to them. So of course he's a threat. Of course, no doubt.
With all this coming to light, are you worried for your family's safety?
Most definitely. I've been worried for my kids' safety since day one, since this happened. I shouldn't have to be a parent within fear of my child's or my kid's life when I trusted you, and you took that away from me.
I mean, is there a message that you would want to send to Big U?
Man, bro. So this shit getting spicy, you understand me? And they say he taking this shit to trial too.
Why? Any other time you would have called me. Still right now, today, I still haven't heard from you. Nothing. Just like they say, that big old N, you have it on your chest right now, and it stands for nothing, because that's what you are. In my book, you a nothing person to me. Can I forgive you? I tried. I tried to pray on it. I tried to ask the Lord above me to help me to forgive you. And deep down, my Heavenly Father upstairs know who I am, if don't nobody else know me. I've tried, and I cannot do it. I cannot forgive you.
So yeah, bro. You understand me? Rayshawn mom, she's come out, she's speaking out on behalf of her son. You know, she feel like Big U had something to do with it, bro. And you know, her feelings and inclinations don't mean he won't 100%, but you know what they say, bro, about, you feel me? She know, mama know, bro, type shit. Like, but that still don't mean she 100% know. You feel me? She got a feeling and shit. It's strange, but you remember, right, when Big U, because you notice how she say she ain't spoke to him, but they used to speak often, right? But she ain't spoke to him since the passing of her son. But you see how they made mention in the paperwork or whatever, how you, the indictment, that Big U DM'd her son back a year later, bro. Because I guess her son had messaged Big U for something. Big U didn't get back at him on Instagram, but he got back at him a year later, like around the time, I guess, when he found out the investigation was going on, to kind of make it look like he was still, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, they say he taking this shit to trial.
So-called made it and not giving back. If you can go to the club and spend $80,000 on bottles, and you can spend $10,000 to go in the club, but you haven't done nothing to help the neighborhood. You know, this young man just gave out 500 pair of tennis shoes, and he's about to give out another 500 pair of tennis shoes.
So Big U said, take this to motherfucking trial.
Music executive and alleged LA gang leader Eugene Henley Jr. is heading to trial. Last month, he was named in a 43-county federal indictment, and this afternoon, he pleaded not guilty during his arraignment. Prosecutors accuse Henley of running a criminal enterprise involving murder, human trafficking, robbery, and extortion. They also say Henley, known as Big U, has ties to the notorious Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips street gang. His trial is scheduled for May 20th.
Hey, yo, you, can you subscribe and turn on that bell too? Because when you do, you're helping unbiased, independent news.
So understand this. He said, F it. We going to trial, and they going to trial next month, which means the feds have been waiting on this, bruh. Now, what could happen? Because of discovery and everything, they could file an extension like what Lil Durk did. You know, with Lil Durk, his trial was supposed to already have happened, but they dropped like 3 terabytes of information on them within 2 weeks of the trial. That's how the feds do. They get it dirty. They do it dirty every single time. And when you dirty it up, that's how you win. So with that, I'm just going to put it this way. Don't be surprised if you see Big U's attorney file a motion to basically extend the trial to, you know, figure out everything that's in the discovery.
He said 300 something terabytes. Yeah, it'll probably be wise for Big U counsel to go ahead and ask for an extension. We can't do this shit like
this. I'll say this though. It's going to get pretty interesting because those who are in the indictment that played small parts, Birdman hands is how the DA is looking at them. They for surely going to holler at their lawyers and say this. Hey, here's what we want. Cooperate against Big U. We cut off 33% of the time. This is what you're looking at. And there you go. It's going to be interesting to see how tones shift, how social media shift, how all of these things start to play out in every single way. We do understand the feds want Big U. So it's not as though you cats who saying Big U flipping, Big U gonna flip, Big U gonna flip. Like I said, I just don't see how that happens. All you cats that get on the internet and pop it, right? I want y'all to do this. If you ever get a chance to, this is me being genuine as possible, talk to a federal lawyer. That's what I do. I don't come in here and spout nothing. That's why with the Big Meat stuff, me saying he's a snitch, saying he's not a snitch, all you cats who say that, all of them, get a lawyer to say that. Get a lawyer to say it. No lawyer will say that. So, with that being said, bro, does Big U have a chance to beat it? There's a chance to beat it. But I think with the feds coming in with the body of Buddy in the desert, and everything, I think that right there, that's going to be his biggest obstacle. As far as everything else goes, not really. Not really. Now, once again, it's difficult for me to see any case, and it's rare, unless you get something like an A$AP Rocky, dumbass, it's rare to see these cats.
Yeah, so it's looking like
We got 430 people in here, man. What y'all think, chat? Make sure y'all hit the like button coming on up in here, though, gang. What do y'all think, bro? Y'all heard what Rayshawn mama said. You feel me? He was a kid, right? He called her mama. Told her, like, I'm gonna send your son to Vegas so we can do this music. And she talked to her son. And after he was supposed to come back home, shit, nigga, she ain't never heard from Big U ever again. That raised a red flag for her mama off the backboard. Like, nigga, you took my son out there, nigga, you a grown man, nigga, he lived with you. And all of a sudden, he's not answering the phone, you not answering the phone. Turned out that his body found dead in the Mojave Desert between Las Vegas and California. Come on, gang. Yeah, so it looked like it's finna get ugly, man. But what y'all think in the comment section? Y'all think he cooked? You know what I'm saying? Y'all think he might beat it? Y'all let me know. But make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's go.
he finna throw the boxing gloves on, man. Get in the ring with the FEDs. But say they got tactics. And I be seeing, bro, what y'all be saying, bro. It's like, come on, though. Like, you feel me? Like, we doing this content, bro. Come on, bro. You understand me?
Come in, testify, and the person they testifying against don't sit it down for a while. That's normally how I go. Hey, we got somebody who done told, we got somebody that made a statement against you, bruh, it looks bad. You don't get deals, you don't get anything. What they do is they tell you, hey, you ready to go now or you ready to go tomorrow? That's basically it. And they're not asking you that either. I'm just being funny, which is not a funny matter. I don't know as far as what he's going to be found guilty of, obviously. But the biggest obstacle is that, because I know some of y'all will point to the money. Big U out of his own mouth said, hey, bruh, we already worked out a payment plan. We already took the penalty. So I don't see if what he's saying is true. I have no reason to believe he would lie like that, because it doesn't make sense. And that's typically how it goes when it goes with money and people getting fined and doing all this BS that they typically do. It typically goes like this. You got caught. You got fined. Your company is now in a probationary period, and this is your one and only warning. Pay it back plus the fine and have a good day. That's typically how it goes. If you don't believe me, just go search up all of these dummies with PPP loans. Now, when you do it big, I remember Baby Boy Blue or whatever his name is from Pretty Ricky or whatever, the little dude that's built like a bowling ball. When y'all over the top doing it and just going nuts, yeah, that's when y'all go ahead and sit down y'all 2 or 3 years. But I don't see it because I believe they would have already charged him. But they could have been waiting for the moment just like this so that the feds can come over and basically do what they're going to do, because technically it is a federal program. But once again, why the hell would he say that and say we already worked it all out? So I believe in my heart.
The bigger question, bro, is why would they snatch him up and charge him with some shit that they already supposedly worked out? You know, that's what I'm like. I'm like, oh, so they like, hell no, we ain't work it out. You thought we worked it out, you know?
In my heart of hearts, he's gonna beat that part. Now, prostitution stuff with old girl, that could be on some hearsay stuff. You got a good chance of beating that. But him with the extortion stuff, with Buddy coming in with the Fed money, the $1,000 and all that, bro, like, I hate to say it this way because it's not going to sound good no way how I spend it. It ain't worth robbing nobody for no $1,000. To extort somebody for $1,000 and have all of this stuff happen for $1,000 goddamn, really, realistically, $4,000 a month. It ain't worth it, bro. It's not. It's not. If you're going to extort somebody, $50,000, $20,000, $30,000, I just, me personally, if I ever was going to extort somebody, I need at least 50 bands. Everything else is not worth it. I'm just going to be fair, square, obvious, and honest. It's not worth it.
Hey, you know, it seemed like he had his hands in hella pots. Say he was extorting hella in the city, so it was all adding up. But it still is crazy because you had your hand in the city pocket. You know, it was like some greedy type shit, bro, allegedly, you know?
So I don't know how he beats this as far as him getting past that part, because you got federal money, you got dude money, you got wiretaps, you got text messages, you have video footage. I just don't see it. And I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just saying your lawyer got a real life fight on their hands. That's all I'm saying. Now with a murder, and I know this is the part where y'all was all just waiting, Seti Nash, condemn him, condemn him, condemn him, condemn him. What happens if Big U produces a video that actually shows that he
was really at the gym, huh? I already know what you're going to say, Sid. Don't even trip. If they come up with the video, he was really at the gym, and that's why he was sweaty when he got back, just gotta apologize, bro. Not me. I didn't say he did it. Yeah? Whoever thought though, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this shit crazy though, man. You know, after the mama come out and speak out and say what she say, and you know, her being as adamant as she is about Big U being involved in this shit, like I say, it still don't mean he did it, but